How can my 27.29 be under 38, but I have breast chronically fermenting cells, METs, in liver and lymph nodes? Okay, for those of you who are not aware of it, their CA 27.29 is considered a breast tumor marker. So is CA 15-3, and so is CEA to some degree for breast. You know, there are different ones, right? CA 125 for ovary, and CEA is for CEA is very, very broad. It's supposed to be colon, but it can also be lung, and because the biology of what we call tumor markers is not to be a tumor. It's not there. It's not on your cell to be a tumor marker. It's there to do other things. It's just that because there's a normal range. So for example, since CA125 is ovarian, it's supposed to be for ovarian, chronically fermenting ovarian cells, right? It's supposed to be that. So how can a male have a normal CA125? And a male can even have a high CA125 without ovaries. Men don't have ovaries. How can they have a high CA125 with certain conditions like ascites? Why? Because CA125 is not a tumor. CEA is not a tumor marker. CA27.29 is not they're called tumor markers because they're associated with certain areas certain organs that have chronically fermented, but they're not always high. I had women with breast tumors really large, and both their 15-0.3 and their 15-3 and their 27.29 were normal. CA was normal. So whether it's normal or not doesn't tell you anything about that. However, for those people who have a tumor marker that is related to their chronically fermenting situation. So for example, you have a chronically fermenting colon cells, and your CEA is high, right? And then you do some sort of treatment, it comes down, and the CT scan shows that it's less, and then it grows back up. So if you can see that this kind of is a marker, then it is. It doesn't mean it's causing it or anything. And it doesn't mean that's what it's designed for. So what I'm saying, Simone, is that now I don't know if I were talking to you face to face, I'd say, well, was it ever high? Was it ever elevated? And have you looked at the 15-3 and the CEA? But we cannot just look at what they call tumor markers, okay? Because the reason we can't just look at tumor markers is because, as I said, we don't know what they mean. Also, if they go up, does that mean that the tumors are growing? We don't know. So is this person saying their tumor marker was 140.9 the first time at the beginning? Yeah. So it can be high, and if it is high, and you've got a certain kind of then it is related, right? And then you can rely on it to some degree to give you evidence of whether or not your treatment is working or not. However, keep this in mind. The guy I was talking about that had a chronically fermenting colon cell, his CEA was like a normal CEA goes up to around 5. So his was about 80. And he was walking around drinking and really happy and doing great and doing all the vitamin C, doing all the, doing everything we do. Lymphatic therapy, colon therapy, you name it. And then it went up to 120, then it went up to 200, then it went to 400, 800, 900. And I said, well, we better do a scan to see what's going on. We did a scan, 90% was gone, which means now, what do we know now? We know that the reason the CEA, the tumor marker, was increasing so much is because the chronically fermenting tumor was dying so quickly, it was spilling more of the antigen into the blood. So that tells us that if it's being killed or growing, it could increase the tumor marker. So again, it doesn't give us, we can't rely on it.